It's my business. You call him a nigger? Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again?
Fuck you, nigger.
Okay.
Nigger.
All right, that's what you say. Nobody digging to your shit. That little kid, you call him a nigger? That little child? Are you about to hit him? You
My son, stop.
so that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger, the N-word.
That's what you're gonna act.
That's what you're gonna call him. You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that. Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you. Do you call him a nigger?
Hey, welcome to IOTG, Info on the Go, the show keeps you inspired, informed, and in the know. I'm your host, Vision X, and as you see, this is the video that's blowing up with this Shiloh Hendrix. As you can see, this pale dwelling Neanderthal cave demon is almost at, well, actually, this was an old post from like a day or so ago. They have all, I believe at today's day, she's raised over $650,000 from GiveSendGo, which is a Christian, God-fearing type of a GoFundMe type platform. And that's why when it comes to religion and all that stuff, I'm really weary on all that stuff. They're some of the fakest people I've ever seen in my life. They don't follow nothing in that Bible. It's always something, when you tell them, why are you not following Jesus' teachings? You're following everything in the Bible besides Jesus' teachings. This is a clear example of this. I mean, and now if somebody would have knocked her block off or said something offensive to her or anything, she'd have been crying, having white women tears, and upset. This is why I tell y'all, everybody, when they say, oh, racism has went away, it's so long ago, it's not. You can clearly see it right here that it's not. And for her to be able to raise this amount of money is just, I mean, ridiculous. I'm going to also show you another video as well that correlates to this as well. It's another guy, he had posted something regarding how much he actually, what the people were saying when they were actually donating to this. But before I go to that video, I just want to read some of the comments. So this was posted by Young, Black, and Wealthy. He says, waiting on Black conservatives to pick this one up. I know most of y'all only got smoke for Black people, but maybe one or two of you guys might grow a pair and call out this hate. What's your thoughts on people raising money for a woman they call a taller a nigger? I sat here and posted my stuff. I said what I said. Aries Noel says, everyone just lost in the comments. Sad ass world we live in. Dr. Boyce Finance. This would bother me more if I didn't have to hear rappers calling us the N-word every single day. Just Madness, they just posted something. Shauna Oni, and the 5-year-old didn't steal anything. This caption needs to be changed. And John Ray 87, where's the GiveSendGo for the Black child? I'll donate to that. I agree with that because I mean that's the person that's actually the victim, not this white woman who, if somebody would have knocked her ass out, all of a sudden she would have been the victim and crying and complaining and how people are attacking her. You cannot keep starting stuff and then think nobody's going to defend themselves. It's just stupidity at its finest. So this is from Jolly Good Ginger. I really like his content. I need to reach out to him as well because I'm going to be having an episode with people in the future regarding just like a panel, I would say. So let me see what he has to say about this as well. He went into a deep dive of who donated and why to this white lady.
This person donated $1,488, $14.88. 14 represents the 14 words of white supremacy, and 88 represents the letter HH, which is what they used to say to Hitler when they gave him the Sieg Heil. This person only donated $15, but they said, we're coming inward, the word you think it says. This person donated $25 and said, you said what everyone else is thinking. Your bravery is inspirational. This person donated $50 and said, these animals. This one donated $10, white pride worldwide. This person donated $650 and wrote a fucking paragraph, sending my personal support. We're all fatigued and know that rather than changing their behavior, minorities insist on trying to police our words. So what is everybody donating to? This right here. This is not GoFundMe. It's on a site called GiveSendGo. And if you don't recognize her, there's a video that's going around online. Go look at Tizzy Ant's page. He blew it up. where a child took something out of her child's diaper bag at the playground, and because it was a black child, she called the child the N-word, hard ER. Another man heard her say it and recorded her, to which she said it over and over and over on video. This is what she wrote on her GiveSendGo page. I called the kid out for what he was, because the kid, who is probably 2 years older, younger, was black and made her mad and took something from her child's diaper bag. She called it out for what he was, an N-word, hard ER, which they all agreed with. Bravery, inspirational, First Amendment rights. How much has it raised? Oh, only $119,000. The year is 2025. This woman called a child, a fucking child, a racial slur, and white people around the country rallied around her, gave her over $100,000, donated using Nazi numerology, made their feelings very clear. And let's be abundantly fucking clear. The white supremacists and the White House emboldened these people. I need you to understand that this GiveSendGo represents exactly where our country is right now. We've never held white supremacy accountable. White people have been screaming that racism is a thing of the past forever. And this right here shows us exactly where we are. Like watermarks on a ship. This is where we are. And it will get worse before it gets better.
And, you know, Jolly Green Ginger, he does a lot of good work. You know, this is what I say, because, you know, I have people send me DMs. They're like, oh, well, you always have something to say about us. I have something to say about everybody. Everybody, I am an equal opportunity employer. I will give everybody the business. You get offended because I sat here and call your ass out about something and say, oh, you know, this is what your people are, the people that look like you are doing, and people get offended about it. Then get offended. I really don't give a shit at this point. I'm so sick of having to dance around people's feelings, and they think that this is okay for this lady to do something like that. And then if somebody would have did something to her, all of a sudden it would have been some big issue, or it would have been something that, you know, we need to publicize this. This is racial. This is no, the new term now is reverse racism. Ain't no such thing as no reverse racism. Black people don't own anything to hold power over you. We don't do redlining. We have not done Jim Crow to you. We have not done white codes, analogy of black codes. We have not done the Ku Klux Klan type thing. We have not done redlining, none of that stuff, nothing. But it'd be these goofy ass white folks like this that do stuff like that. And this is why I like Jolly Good Ginger, because there are good white folks out there. He's one of them. Real allies. Like he's speaking about this, he's putting it out there, he's letting you know how people feel about it, he's letting you know what the current state of America is. It's always been this way, but it hasn't really been filmed. Now we get to see this stuff being filmed. And, you know, just hearing the accounts from what my grandma and my aunts and my uncles used to say back then, I used to think they were crazy. They used to say, oh, you know, them white folks is this and they that. And I was like, why are we talking about those white folks? And then as I got older, I understood. I understood 100%. I had to call one of my aunts one day and apologize to her. I said, hey, I apologize to you, because the same thing that you guys went through is the same things that I went through, you know, and I'm currently going through right now at work, when I get on the plane, you know, even when, sometimes I'll be sitting in, like, you know, I get, you know, a seat upgrade to first class, or if I'm going on vacation, I usually book first class, and you will have white folks that will get on the plane, they be looking at you, rolling their eyes, you know, staring at you. I'm like, you'll see back there in 19C. Okay, keep walking, keep walking. You know, you over here looking at me, keep walking back there. It'd be shit like that. It'd be people that feel that they are entitled to this stuff. They didn't work for nothing. They feel entitled. And so this is why I like Jolly Good Ginger's work. I will reach out to him, but this is what you would consider ally. That Shiloh lady is not an ally. And those are those damn Karens and Bethany's and Melanies that I be working with at work. There's always some drama, some bullshit. They always talking about, oh, I don't see color and I don't see red. Shut your ass up. You see every damn color in the rainbow. When you sit here, you know, you see green, you see that money, you see that stop sign. So when people say that, when I look at them, they say, I'm like, please get away from me. Those are the people you always have to watch out for. The ones that's, oh, I don't see color, or, I love all people, or the one that I see here all the time. Oh, I have a black friend. Okay, good for you. Is it a Candace Owens type black friend? Because baby, she ain't black. That all skin folk ain't kin folk. Okay, we're just gonna call it what it is. So let's read some comments before I go into the next video that correlates to this as well. Jelly Green Ginger said, this is where we are. T and Stitchery says, she'll buy a lot of meth with that money. I agree with that. She probably from the backwoods of Kentucky. Kentucky is very racist. Very racist, very the people just look dingy out there. When I went to visit Kentucky, I'm like, it just looked poor. I mean, and I'm like, for y'all to be racist and say that, calling everybody else welfare recipients, and Kentucky is one of the biggest red states that receives a lot of assistance from the federal government, especially from the blue states, is mind-boggling to me. But, to each his own, because, you can't teach stupidity anymore. Kay Gallandon's designs, they can't afford eggs out to pay for school children's lunches, but they can fund racism. Got it. I agree with that. Ange Mort, RA. So she is profiling off her racism, profiting off her racism. This country is so broken. Les NJ, remember, these people are your neighbors, your doctors, your teachers. Scary times we live in. When I tell you this is real scary, when you talk about doctors, I work with doctors and nurses I've worked with. When I tell you there was one, I can go into countless stories of just racism from white folks for no reason. I'm like, what is your problem? Without racism, it's like, do y'all have anything better to do with y'all damn time? It's like they have zero to do with their time. And I'm like, something is wrong with you. I don't think it's just talk. I think it's also in their DNA. And don't get mad at me. This was some articles and peer review articles that came out. They was finding out the genomes and the DNA of white people. They have 4% Neanderthal and canine DNA. You hear that? The only race to do it, a skin color to do it. So I'm just keeping it real with you. You have some that activate that canine/Neanderthal caveman DNA, and others that don't. And Shyla is one of those people that does. You can just tell. She thinks that she's superior, looking like that, and she look like she's just withering away, just look pale and sickly. So to each his own with that. But this is what we're going through with in the current state of America. Beverly Mahoney, I hope I said that right. Amazing. I can't even generate 1,000 for a scholarship fund for the betterment of young people, and she raises over $100,000 because of racism. Wow, just wow. And I'll read one more. The last JO0523, I've really given 12 years of my life to the military to defend this country, and this is what this country does. Pays a white woman thousands of dollars for being loudly, blatantly, and unapologetically racist. And she's being rewarded. America's true face is truly horrifying. And as a Black man and as a veteran, I am truly disgusted, disappointed, and I can't even find more words to say. The country I'm from that I pledge to defend rewards racism with thousands of dollars. Well, I don't know why he's so surprised. The stories that my uncle used to tell me of how white folks is, they fought for you to be able to, treat people like that. I'm just like, why haven't we sent them to the wars? Why weren't they on the front lines? Those are the people that should have been on the front lines. It's the wrong type of people on the front lines. It seemed like all the bad people and the people the racist people, it seemed like they keep scathing death. Put their asses on the front line so they can get their legs blown off or something. I don't care how people feel about it. Let them be on the front lines. Why is it always the nice people or the guys like Jolly Green Ginger or people like that's on the front lines? And these are the people we lose while all the racist people sit behind and they're sitting here eating steak dinners at, steak houses and things of that nature. This is why I tell you, it's the wrong people that's in the wrong spots, and it's also the wrong people in power. We're just gonna call it what it is. Also, this is from got this guy's name, Doctor. He's actually a pretty well-known scientist. I always forget his name, but Nielsen Tyson. Yeah, I believe that's his name. He's pretty much explaining how easy racism is. And if you look at what he's talking about, all the stuff is facts. So let's hear what he has to say, and I'm gonna let you see.
How easy it is to be racist. Chimps and other apes grow hair all over their bodies. The hairiest people you've ever seen have been white people. Chimps tend to have big ears relative to their head size. The biggest ears I've ever seen on humans have been on white people. Ever hear of a lice outbreak among black children? Probably not. White children are 30 times more susceptible to lice infestation than our black children. The parasite simply likes to lay eggs in the hair of chimpanzees and white people more than on the hair of black people. Chimpanzees love to swing in trees. Apparently, so do suburban white children. They typically can't wait to build and live in a backyard treehouse. The white people clearly want to return to their fully primitive state. This would be a racist black person from the 19th century trying to find ways to enslave white people. Look how easy.
Now, do you understand how easy that is? And let's be clear about this. Everything that he was stating, that he researched, is facts. White people are some of the hairiest are the most hairiest on the planet by far. In addition to that, they are the more susceptible than any other race for lice by far. Big ears, they do. That has been proven as well. They do have larger ears according to their size of their body. And then one thing he did miss is thin lips. The chimpanzees have thin lips, just like white people. You shave their hair off, they also have white skin. Now, people want to get offended. Don't get offended by something that, you know, your scientists is out here saying is basic biology and evolution and things of that nature. I said, you know, it's just kind of weird that all the characteristics of monkeys that they're trying to say black people look like, they actually look like y'all. You know what I mean? Thin lips. And then on top of that, the other thing is out of the animal kingdom, and I'm just going to pull it up. Let me see if Chat GPT will pull this up for me. I want to see what are the most violent animals on the planet, top 10. Let's see. I'm pretty sure chimpanzees are probably going to pop up. Okay, mosquitoes do what they want. Humans, now crocodiles, because crocodiles eat everything. Hippopotamus, they'll probably have a shark in here. Elephants, Cape buffalo, polar bear, Komodo dragon, wolverine. Oh, so what about chimpanzees? Let me ask them. What about chimpanzees? Hope I spelled that right. He said, great point. Chimpanzees absolutely deserve a mention for their extreme and often shocking violence, especially given how closely related they are to humans. Here's why chimpanzees could easily be in the top 10 or honorable mention. Chimpanzees, why? Highly intelligent but brutally violent, especially in the wild. Violence types: tear off faces, fingers, and genitals during attacks. Known to wage wars on rivals, coordinated ambush and killings. Infecticide is common. Males will kill and eat babies from rival troops. Against humans, several gruesome attacks have been documented, especially by pet or captive chimps. Scariest part, their violence is calculated, not just instinctive, similar to human aggression. Now, if you look at all the major wars out here, and get up, stop you want, you look at all the major wars out here, calculated. You know, they looking for something to do. That would be white people. Get upset all you want. You got to look at why they expanded from Europe. And I'll probably speak about this on a future episode, but you got to understand why they expanded from Europe. I mean, they expanded from Europe on the map. They came to America. They went to South America. They went to China. They went to India. They went to Africa. And they went to Australia. Let's just use Australia, for example. Do you know why the Britain, England, UK, whatever you want to call them, do you understand why they were sending white folks over there? They were sending white folks over there. They were sending the worst criminals ever. Criminals, dangerous to society, all these things. You know what? Don't believe me. The reason why I like AI and ChatGPT, it pulls up everything for you. That way we can see it for ourselves. Why did white people get exiled to Australia during the 1800s and 1900s. Let's see what it says. White people, mostly British, were exiled to Australia during the 18th and 19th centuries as part of a mass penal transportation system. Here's it. Overcrowded prisons in Britain. Number one, by the late 1700s, British prisoners were overflowing. The American colonies had been the destination for convicts, but after the American Revolution of 1776, the option was lost. Solution: penal colonies. Britain began using Australia as a dumping ground for convicts to relieve pressure on its jails. First Fleet arrived in 1788, established a penal colony in New South Wales. Petty crimes, harsh sentences. Many convicts were sentenced for minor crimes for stealing bread, clothing, and their livestock. Sentences ranged for 7 years to life, often for theft or poverty-related crimes. Colonial expansion. Transportation convicts also helped Britain establish and populate its claim to Australian land. So they just went over there and just killed all the indigenous people. And what this is what number 1, 2, and 3, all these criminals and convicts and murderers, all these people going there just like they did to the rest of the world. There's a reason why that whole thing was going on in India with Gandhi. Y'all forget what happened with China. I forgot those movies. It was a few movies that's out here. I think it was with Tom Cruise. It was one about the last emperor of China and all that stuff when white folks started invading and stuff. I'm telling y'all, it is something in y'all DNA. Is something wrong with y'all. It's not just taught anymore. I think it's just something wrong with y'all, because for y'all to sit here and want to do this to people and harm them and feel good about it, just how we just read about with the chimpanzees, it's very calculated. This is what they do. It doesn't make any sense at all. For what? You're not building anything. We're not having any more architects. It's not making better doctors. It's not making medical advances. It's just destroying everything. So what is this for? Then on top of that, colonial expansion. Oh, well, I just forgot to read that. Convicts used as labor to build roads, farms, and infrastructure. And then social control and classism. Many transported people were poor, working class, or political descents, like Irish rebels. It was a way to remove undesirables from British colony. Now, let me talk about the Irish people, because now they're considered white now, because they wanted to separate them from the blacks when it was all those uprisings that were happening. That's why they kept all that out of the history books. You gotta research all the uprisings that happened. It wasn't that, oh, slaves were just happy. No, there was so many uprisings that eventually the Civil War was going to happen anyways. There's a lot that they don't tell you in these books. You have to sit here and read. You have to look at stuff. And then, what I also like about ChatGPT is that it would also cite sources. Can you please cite sources for me? And it'll tell you exactly where it pulled all this stuff from. British National Archives, Australian Government Museum. It gives you the sites. State Library of New Wales. BBC, History of Convict Colonies. I mean, look at all this stuff. And guess what? This is all written by white folks, for white folks. They're telling you what you are. They know what they are. You cannot get mad at people for speaking the truth. That's why I'm not surprised at that lady. I'm not surprised at her doing that. It's in her nature. It's in her DNA. 4% Neanderthal and canine dog DNA. Go look it up. I don't need to do anything for you. Y'all have these devices right here. Y'all have them at your fingertips. This stuff right here. This thing right here, you can sit on the plane or wherever you're doing, and you can sit here and you can just read and review things. And it would help you learn about things outside of this. Is why I tell people you need to travel outside the country, not just to cultural appropriate or for them to fix you food like a lot of white folks do when they go to Mexico. They want to be entertained, and they want you to fix them tacos and all that stuff. And tacos is not really big over there in Mexico like that. That's not one of their big dishes. That's an American-made thing. But this is what I be telling y'all. I mean, history all the stuff is right here, but this is why they're trying to erase this from history. So I'm gonna go to this one right here as well. This white lady, she's pretty much explaining exactly what I used to experience when I was in foster care living in white people's houses. It's these terms or things that they say about other groups of people that it's just they're like, oh, but I'm not a racist. I'm not. I don't believe in color and whatever. Let's just stop it already. So here's another white person explaining it to you. You don't need to hear it from me. Hear it from them.
Kylie, and here are the top 5 things white people say when they know they're being racist, but they can't say what they're thinking out loud. Number 1, we have commenting on how something smells, specifically in relation to food. Generally, this is meant in an insulting way. Wow, it really smells in here. Whether it's food from Asia, Africa, regardless, white people think that it smells weird because it's not something that they typically eat, and they mean this in a racist way. Number 2, we have referring to women of color as not dateable, and no, this doesn't refer to their sexual past. In fact, what it refers to is the fact that many men are willing to sleep with women of color, but will never bring them home to their white mommy. Number 3, this is often said in private, but you can tell he was raised around a lot of white people, and this is typically meant in a similar manner of he's one of the good ones. Number 4, we get a lot of out-of-towners on Saturdays, and that means that that's when there's a lot of people of color that come into town, and that's when white people typically avoid going to the bars. Yeah. Number 5, referring to very safe areas in the suburbs as ratchet, the ghetto, or the hood. If it's not the direct center of the downtown of their suburb, this is typically when they use this. Hi, my name's Kylie.
Yep. And so that's coming from another white woman. Do not get upset at me for presenting you the information from white folks when white folks are sitting here telling you exactly what goes on in their families. I was raised by them. I grew up in foster care. Everything that this lady just told you, Kylie Brewer just told you, is accurate. And she's being very generous because there's some other stuff in there that she could have been throwing in there talking about all types of things. One thing that got me was the smells when people are cooking food. You forgetting white folks can cook very well. They don't put a lot of seasonings in their food and stuff. Every time I go to a restaurant out here in LA, an Asian restaurant, a Latin restaurant, I would go there and I said, this food is ugh. I said, it's not all that. And I said, the food in Atlanta is way better. It's more predominantly Black, Latins, everybody got their certain areas. And when I asked some of the business owners out here or the cooks, I said, why is your food so bland? Oh, because the white folks complain that it's too much seasoning on our food, or they complain that it's too spicy. Then take their asses somewhere else and go eat then. What are you eating here for? For what? Why do you need to eat here if you're going to sit here and complain about the food? Especially from a group of people you don't even like. You don't even like them. So why are you eating at an Asian restaurant or a Hispanic restaurant? What is your point for doing that? Make it make sense, please. You have to make it make sense. I want to read some of the comments from the last post as well. This was I'm gonna butcher people's names, so I don't care. Arafat Sizen 66, science proven racism at its peak. Don't judge, it's only for fun. I wrote my comment, and then Slain the Strange 66. He's wrong about the lice part though, because there was an outbreak at my school, and it was literally all Black kids that had lice. I want to hear what people had to say. Black people don't get lice. Our hair type doesn't allow lice to live in our hair. Nice try though. Wiz Wise Rob 3. Saltines just lie for no reason. Always putting their crap on everybody else, just like their diaper wearing leader. Slander 66, again, not true. I see you can't get, so they just going back and forth. I don't do that argument. When I'm online, I say what I have to say and I move the hell on. I'm not arguing with people going back and forth. I said what I said. I ain't changing what I said. We ain't going, we're not doing no extra ad libs, adverbs, whatever you want to call it. We're not doing that. Eternity Music. Bro forgot to look at the scroll structure. This was a good one. So let's hear what people have to say. Knock my head. We hate the same skull. We hate the same skull structure. They lied saying our skulls were like monkeys and made fake images to defend slavery, which was true. You had them really building out skulls. And actually, when you're in certain regions, based off, and this is with hair, this is with how your nose is, this is with your skin tone. Based off the region you're from, your skin, your body, it starts to adapt to that environment. It's just like with insects, it's just like with animals, your body will adapt to that environment. So this is why you see like people in example in Kenya, they're very fast at running because this is what they're doing. They're running, always running to their next place to get stuff. They're trying to get food, they're trying to get water. And so this is what usually happens there. So this is one of those things that's like that. And then people just go back and forth on that. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm Brandetta. The tests aren't the same. Start running with what you hear and reading it yourself. An intelligent quotation test for an animal is not the same intelligent quotation test for a human. Even some birds have higher IQs than some human babies. Are they smarter? No, it's not that linear, buddy. Then I'm going to read about Kylie Brewer. She already wrote her post and we already went through it. Black Sky, we know this. They think their code words go unnoticed. We choose not to call you out, though. I agree with that. Kyle J707, the white savior complex needs to be studied. Immortal Image Imaginary, calling a neighborhood the sketchy part of town while gentrifying it. That is facts. I don't need to even comment on that. That's facts. Well, just look at what happened in Atlanta recently. Daisy Dukes, this is what white people say when they are being racist without obviously being racist, white people. Tawdry Art, the food thing. Can we all agree that microwaving fish at the communal work microwave should be an effing crime? Please. And welcome to Beard. Saying something smells bad is racist. And so everything, they hit everything on the head. This is what happens. But I want to go into one last video. This is I'm like, you know what? I like when white folks put the stuff out here. She's not the only person to put this out here. Chelsea Handler had something on her podcast where she was talking about this, and she was talking about body washing their bodies, and they don't wash their legs, and they don't wash their feet, and they don't wash their back. They only wash the parts that they think that stink or whatever. It is a cultural thing with white folks that they do not wash. Growing up in the house, this is just a known fact. They don't think that they have to wash those parts. So I want to hear what this girl has to say. So let's hear what she has to say.
All right, so I've just been out biking for sort of 10 to 20 minutes with wet hair because it's summer now, apparently. And I came back and my hair smells like wet dog. And I don't know why this happens. I've heard it only happens to white people, and I'm pretty sure it's true because I know a lot of white people that smell like this after being outside the entire day. There's something in our hair and in the city air that does this. It just smells like wet dog. So if you know why, please put it in the comments because this is an interesting scientific thing to research. Pretty stupid, but interesting nonetheless. All right, have a nice day.
So it's not really stupid. That study that came out about how white folks is related to Neanderthals and canines. Canines are dogs. People, what she just told you is absolutely true. I remember, so when I was staying with quite a few white folks, but it was this one white family, and they had a lot of dogs, greyhounds. I love those greyhounds. And they had these two dogs named Molly and Chubbs. Oh, those were my little babies. I love those dogs, especially Chubbs, because Chubbs didn't get the love that he needed when we were staying at that house. It seemed like they only cared about like the dogs that did what they said. And Chubbs is one of those dogs. He wanted to go out. He wanted to go chase skunks. He wanted to do, and so he always had ticks on him and everything. And so I could not have Chubb sleep in the bed with me at all. This is back in the day. Now I don't have no dog sleep in the bed with me, just sanitary reasons. But I was afraid of getting ticks because there was a huge outbreak of like Lyme disease in that community. And so I was like, I just don't want no ticks on me. So they had these dogs. But I remember washing the dogs at first to help get the ticks off and things of that nature. I've never smelled that smell before. It is like, it's a very musty, it's like musty hair. I don't know, but mixed with a little skunk. It smells real bad. So when I kept continuing to wash the dogs and everything and use some of like the better shampoos and stuff, it kind of masked the smell a little bit. Well, I remember when it was raining one day and the white family that I was staying with, they were outside and it was like raining hard. Just came all of a sudden it was raining and they came inside and I was like, what the hell is that smell in here? I said, what is that smell? And it was them. And one of the girls who was dating Mark was one of their sons. The white girl, she smelled the hair. She's like, "Oh my God, it's me!" And I was like, "I said, I don't just think it's you." I said, and it was because of their hair. And earlier that day they didn't do anything like they didn't go out or so usually when they go out they like shower, use Pantene Pro V, all those white feminine products and stuff to make themselves smell good, but they didn't use them this time because they didn't go out. So everybody started smelling, and it was all the white, it was all of them. And I said, that is horrific. So without products in your hair and without that type of stuff, y'all smell it? I said, that's horrible. I said, they smell just like Molly and Chubbs. And those are small beagle canines. I was just like, nah. So when they be talking about, my thing is every accusation that I hear from a lot of white folks is a confession these days. They be talking about other people's thinking stuff. I'm like, baby, y'all gotta check yourselves in the mirror. I smell a lot of people's hair, but I've never when white folks don't put none of those nice chemical products, the blow drying out stuff. When they don't put none of that stuff in the hair, and you just smell a natural smell. They smell just like Molly and Chubbs canines, and it's those are the facts. You can get upset about that all you want. This white girl just sat here and told you this. So let's read some of the comments. The God damn Tatum, I guess, Age of Truth. And I told y'all, people got upset at me when I said it. People was all pissed off at me in the comments. That's why I like to get videos like this, and it just knocks it out and proves my point. She got 0417. It's the Neanderthal in you. I told y'all, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Marley Rose, girl, that's just you. King Gold, the Jungle One. That's fur, not hair. Chloe E, sulfur-based beings versus carbon-based beings. Everlasting Flower, as a God-fearing woman, I know we all come from the seed of Adam. I don't feed into the devil's ideology being pushed in the comments. Diets affect scalp odor. What people eat changes their body oil production and microbes. I know pork especially leaves a strong lingering smell when eaten often. Since I don't eat it, I'm more sensitive to smell. Okay. 34S7. Peace to her for being truthful. More truth, peace and love. Let's stop with the hate in the comments and sit back and watch the world stage. 7% wolf DNA. White people are made of sulfur. So they're just people that's doing insults and stuff. I'm not doing all that. Because I got white folks I'm really cool with, and they do have some good hygiene. The ones that I know, not all of them. I have some friends I had to let know, like, baby, you gotta go in that shower another time, you know. I mean? We gotta get that washed up. But other than that, I mean, she's telling you the facts, just their natural odor. They smell just like Molly and Chubbs. And I love those two beagles. So other than that, this is the end of this segment. I'm going to be filming another episode soon. If you would like to be a guest on the show, please let me know dates and times, because when I'm trying to plan dates and times with you guys, y'all like, oh, I'm not available this time, or I'm available this time, and I'm trying to dance around your schedule, and it's kind of difficult because I work just like you. I am not sitting at home on my ass. I'm not on OnlyFans or Just for Fans. Which I kind of wish I would have did that, because I'm very good at sex, but we'll let that be what it is. Other than that, please like, share, and subscribe, and see you next time. Take care.